Good morning. As most of you, if not all Vincentians would know, work on the construction of the Argyle International Airport is far advanced, and there are some critical things that we need to do on the airport regarding the construction of the runway. Some of those things that we need to do and we need to start to put in place this year be things like the stone crushing plant, the asphalt plant, and other such things that we need to have installed on the site here at Argyle. Of course, when you're looking at putting these things in place, you have to also look at the environmental impact on the surroundings. You have to look at the best place on the site to locate it, so we create minimal damage or anything of the sort to the environment. To help us in citing these small projects within a bigger project, we have asked for the help of the Cuban Environmental Agency, which is CITMA, and to that end they have sent to us two experts from that agency. Today we're going to be speaking to them about exactly what they're here to do and how, if we are not careful with how we place these things or where we site them, how it can impact on our environment. I want to introduce you to Miss Hermina Serrano. She is a principal specialist at the Agency for Science, Technology and Environment, CITMA, and with her we have another specialist, Mr. Enrique Perez. Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to St. Vincent, welcome to our program, and thanks for agreeing to speak with us.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias también a ustedes.
Thank you very much for having us here, and it's important for specialists to come and look at the work that we are doing to see how we will affect the environment.
Okay, let's just chat a little about you, Ms. Serrano. Exactly, yes, we are told that you are a principal specialist at CITMA, but exactly what it is you do, and is there a particular unit at CITMA that you head up?
Bueno, yo he trabajado.
Mainly what has direct impact to the things that are being developed in the environment.
Bien, estamos trabajando.
Particularly, they're working to look at the risks, the dangers, and the vulnerabilities. Natural disasters as well as technological disasters, other sanitary disasters that may happen.
Hemos incorporado.
And most recently they have been studying very deeply studies that has to do with climate change.
Now, exactly what areas are you looking at here at the airport site?
Nuestra visita en este momento.
Yeah, their studies, they are continuing studies from a study that began in 2009.
Que antes que iniciara la obra, hicimos una.
Okay, so what that study was about, before the work began in 2009, they look at the recommendations from different studies, environmental impact studies done by different companies, different countries. And they would basically study to see how we here can put those recommendations into place.
En ese momento,
right, so in those studies mainly they looked at the environmental impact assessment study done by the German consultants, and they basically were studying to see how they can put the recommendations of that study into effect here at Argyle.
Y de otros estudios que se habían hecho,
and other studies that were done from institutions from other countries,
como por estudios,
studies in other countries that were similar to studies done similar to the case that we have here in St. Vincent.
De asesoramiento para.
From this analysis of their recommendations, we also suggested other recommendations.
Ya directamente un poco ajustada a la realidad.
Now more directly and more adjusted to the reality of the situation of the environment that we have here.
Y las proyecciones existentes.
And the existing projections. Work such as the airport is a very complex work.
Por las exigencias que ella tiene para poder garantizar.
Because of the requirements that the airport has to guarantee safety and comfort.
Y si a esto le sumamos que
and so we came to the conclusion that this type of work When this type of work is done on the island, its impact on the environment is much more, it's more sensible than if it was done on a continent. They require much more preventative measures
que permitan disminuir
that will permit us to diminish or prevent impacts,
porque siempre habrán impactos,
because we always have impact on the environment.
al igual que otras inversiones.
As well as any other construction, any investment we have anywhere in the world, because it is the intervention of man into the environment.
Es que el medio ambiente
Another aspect that we analyze is that the environment is not only what we consider as the natural environment, it's also the socio-economical environment.
y una inversión de este tipo desde el punto de vista
And investment as this from a socio-economic point of view, independent from the negative aspects that it can produce,
produce impactos positivos
it also produce positive impacts
en la economía,
in the economy,
en el incremento de empleo,
in the creation of employment,
en mejora,
improves the way of life of the population close to it, as well as the general population.
esos impactos hay que considerarlos también.
So when you do a study like this, you have to always consider these impacts as well.
Okay, I want to bring in Enrique for a minute. Ms. Serrano has been speaking about the analysis of the environmental impact studies that were done, I feel like in 2009, for example. Right now on the airport site, there are immediate and pressing environmental issues that we need to deal with. And I know you guys are looking at some specific ones, like the siting of the asphalt plant, the stone crushing plant, etc. on the site, trying to pinpoint the best locations for them. Have you been able to come up with anything so far? And is there any other aspect that is immediate to us that you're looking at?
O sea, los estudios que se necesitan para la propuesta de educación de las plantas que estamos analizando, y sobre eso hacemos nuestra evaluación desde el punto de vista ambiental, y sobre eso se crean medidas recomendadas.
Right now they are in the phase of analyzing the industries that we want to set up, the asphalt plant, the batching plant, and so forth. They are studying the context that we have here, the area we have here, and they are giving recommendations into the best areas where this can be located, how we can minimize problems with the environment. That's what they are doing right now.
Okay. How important is it for these, like the crushing plant, the asphalt plant, these plants to be located in exactly the right locations? If we don't get it right, what kind of negative effects can we have?
Sí, se analiza.
Okay, one thing that you have to bear in mind is for when you locate all these plants, is the location of the base material, the prime material that we using to reduce the cost of operating the plants.
A nosotros se nos solicitó en esta ocasión hacer la evaluación.
Okay, so after analyzing the sites where they're going to put this plant, what they do, they analyze the effects during the phase of operation, the effects that this would cause during operational phase, and also during the phase after it has been abandoned, because these plants are going to be temporary, and they could also carry effects after the use.
Ahora, ¿qué ventajas ya nos está dando los análisis que estamos haciendo?
What advantage the analysis that we are doing giving us now of the location in the same area of the airport? Although we have not come to a conclusion, to locate the plants right in the same area we have the airport, it prevents problems in other areas, because obviously the plants will be right on the work site. You don't have to do any more large out movements. We are already doing it here.
Ni muchas acciones que si se decide que
If these plants are placed in other areas on the island, that we will have to do. Also reduce the atmospheric contamination of dust, of noise. Also with the measures that one can apply.
en ese sentido.
It will be placed in a area, in a location that is already on a walking condition, and so you won't be creating new areas with this same kind of problem. From an economic point of view, also the proposals of locating them, they have been very intelligent.
Donde se han
Because what they have done, they have situated the plants close to the source of the materials, and they have located them in a logical sequence in accordance with the chain of use.
que reduce
It reduces the cost of transportation, reduces emissions of course, in a general sense. We don't come to any conclusion, as I said before, because we are in the phase of evaluating the site.
inclusive habían planes
Also, there were plans that actually had two different proposals for location, and so from our evaluation, we can tell them which option will be best and which one will cause less impact to the environment.
Okay, without coming to a conclusion, in your expert opinion, do you think that we can successfully locate these various plants on site with minimal impact, minimal negative impact to the environment?
sí tenemos
Through an analysis and a quantitative and qualitative analysis, this is what we are going to achieve, and where we see that we are not going to achieve it, we will try to give our consideration, our recommendations.
pero tenemos esa visión que no
Right, so we have this vision to arrive at this conclusion, and bearing in mind that these plants are temporary. They are not going to be there forever. It's only for the construction of the airport.
y por aquí tiene que tener tal aditivo para recoger polvo.
One very important thing is that with this analysis, we are in a position to see what technology, how the technology that we are buying must be. In other words, we won't buying something and then working with what we have. We put ourselves in a position to say, okay, this is what the amount of emissions we want to have from this machine. This is the amount of residual material we want to have, and all that will go into the shopping part of when we are going to buy this equipment.
Okay, Enrique, you've been here about a week now.
Yes.
And how much longer will you be here, the both of you?
So they're going back Saturday, next Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes.
So you've been here just over a week, and you have analyzed our environmental impact study that was done previously. From the environmental impact study that you have seen and analyzed, and from being here on the ground and seeing the work in action, how would you say we are doing so far in terms of mitigating the negative impacts on the environment?
Yeah, what we are doing good here is that if we meet a problem, we always try to do a study to see how we can solve this problem when it comes to the impact on the environment.
Okay, Ermine, in your opinion, how well do you think we are doing at mitigating the negative impacts on the environment?
I consider that we have been working here very strongly in consideration of the environmental impact that the construction of an international airport here can have.
Incluso por la complejidad geomorfológica, geológica de la zona.
We have to remember that it's a very complex, but of the complexity of the geology of the area.
Se han tomado decisiones de estudios intermedios
They have taken decisions and studies, intermediate studies,
que han enriquecido los iniciales de la evaluación de impacto.
that have come from the environmental impact assessments that have permitted us to make additional recommendations, take additional steps, or add to the original studies. Logically, I think that we need to continue studying and study deeper and educate people about the environment,
de todos los involucrados en la obra.
of everyone that is working on the job site.
Y cuando me refiero a la educación ambiental,
And when I talk about environmental education, is to have a better knowledge of why and how we take each action,
y tener un nivel adecuado de comprensión también de aquellas cuestiones que resultan inevitables.
and to have a level of understanding when we meet upon on questions that really are things that are inevitable.
Y conocer y identificar cuándo son evitables.
And to know and understand when they are evitable, when we could avoid them.
Lógicamente, dentro del contexto general de esta obra,
Logically, in the general context of this work,
podemos decir que se está empezando,
that it is beginning.
porque después pasamos a la fase de montaje y operación,
Because then we have to pass the phase of mounting and operation,
que se detienen una serie de acciones que hoy producen impacto,
that include a series of actions that are going to produce impacts,
pero surgen otras
and others will come up
que también requieren de esto mismo.
that also require these same kind of studies.
El trabajo de educación es un factor muy importante para mejorar y profundizar en las acciones.
This this work of educating people is something that's very important to better the life of people.
Y hay que seguir haciendo énfasis en esa dirección.
We need to continue putting emphasis in this education.
Okay, and that is a good note on which to say thank you to both of you for chatting with me here today and for being here with us at the IADC conducting such important work.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Muchas gracias también por la invitación. Realmente incorporar adecuadamente la dimensión ambiental en este propósito.
Okay, thank you very much for having us here, and we will always try, once we are invited, to continue to study and to see how we can incorporate the airport within the environment here and minimize negative impacts.
Okay, and at this point I want to say to Vincentians, to our viewing audience, that the International Airport Development Company, the IADC, has been making every effort to ensure that the correct environmental studies are done and that we make every possible effort to mitigate against negative impacts on our environment. To this end, we have conducted several environmental studies already. We have done the bird studies, the bathymetric study, the hydraulic studies, and we have done all of those things in collaboration with SITMA. So we thank our Cuban friends for continuing to assist us, and rest assured that whatever we do on the airport project site, we will be doing with the best interests of the environment at heart, and we will do everything possible to ensure that as little negative effects, if possible, we may not be able to eliminate them altogether, but as little as we can have takes place here on the site. So thank you for viewing, and we'll see you again next time.